Hi, I'm Chris.
Hi, I'm Richie.
And welcome to the Service Accommodation Podcast.
Welcome to part 2 of our biggest learnings.
So another learning that we had actually comes from the consultancy side of our business as opposed to the SA management side of the business. And that was around setting up the first Barcelona retreat that we did with our boardroom members. And it all kicked off because I'd never been to Barcelona before, and I went out there for a friend's wedding and just really fell in love with the kind of environment, the atmosphere out there. It's just an amazing place. If you've never been, go. But it's just such a wonderful culture, I think, and you don't necessarily have to go and do this or see that, but actually it's about sitting around on the terraces, enjoying the weather. Obviously it's much nicer weather than here, soaking up the culture, and just really enjoying the environment which you have out there. And it just felt to me like we'd been doing a lot of strategic work with our clients and getting a lot of results from that, but actually how beneficial it would be taking them away from the day-to-day business into an environment like that to start looking at the top level. So even while I was out there, this first ever visit to Barcelona, I recorded a little video on my phone saying, hey guys, I'm out here really enjoying it. It feels to me like this would be a great environment for us to come and, work on some strategy. Is that something anyone would be interested in? Posted that privately within our boardroom groups and actually had an amazing reaction. Everyone was like, yeah, that sounds amazing. Really up for that, really interested. And so what happened was I then kind of went away pretty much on my own. And put together this whole amazing program and schedule and what we're doing here and this, that and the other, how it's going to work, what we're working on with people, businesses, and then we kind of went out to the boardroom groups and go, right, here's what we're doing. And much as everyone said, wow, that looks amazing, ultimately it kind of fell on its face a little bit because only one person booked straight away. We'd been planning on taking 6 people out there.
So the feedback you got from the post, or the feedback we got from the post, and the conversion did not match up. Because lots of people were interested when you first posted.
That sounds amazing, but in terms of actually committing to it, it was very different.
That's it.
And so for me, the key learning for there was that I'd forgotten about the fundamentals of entrepreneurship. Sometimes you can get so close that you forget and you think you know your avatar really, really well. But ultimately, entrepreneurship is about solving problems.
Yeah, that's it.
And to come up with the right solution, you need to really understand the problem. So the fundamental mistake that we made there was people were interested in it, but we didn't ask them the details of what they were interested in.
No market research.
Why would you like to go out there? What problem is it that you're solving within your business? How do you think it could be formatted? So in essence, I put together the product without taking into account what people really wanted from it.
It is very crucial. You need to research in the market to find out why people want to do stuff, because people buy emotionally in that, and you can't just think, okay, logically this will make a lot of sense and this is what they need. No, people don't tend to buy what they need. Most of the time people tend to go for what they want.
Exactly, and actually in that situation we were able to pivot it very quickly because we realised that was the case, and we said, look, okay guys, we know you're already interested in this, not that many people as we expected have signed up, what would you like to see from something like this? We were then able to change the format, get Barcelona full, and obviously it was such a success that we ended up doing it again in October with an even larger group. But the key lesson for us, like we said, it's really about understanding the problem that you're solving for people. It's about not being complacent and thinking that you know what people want, but actually going out and asking them. So for instance, if you're putting together accommodation for contractors, what is it which is most important to them? Do they actually care about that TV in the bedroom? Or is it more about having somewhere comfortable, or would they really like a space which is big enough for them all to sit down and eat in the evenings? Don't necessarily make assumptions around that. A little bit of research and just direct dialogue with your avatar, your client, can give you so much useful information when you're actually putting together a solution for them.
Finding out what they need. Just asking the questions, isn't it? Before you then just assume and deliver what they don't need. So yes, market research, just finding out about your clients. Another very important lesson is trying to do it all yourself. and this learning we can relate, can't we? Yeah.
Well, I think you said to me many times, Chris, this is what you do. You come into something and you're like, right, this is the way it's done. No one else can do it as good as you. You just take over and do it all yourself.
The problem with that is you end up taking on too much, and then you're like, stressing about, this dude, I have to do this. Like, but you did it. No one else jumped on board. People offered to help, but you were Mr. Best for this job. So it is what it is. We are entrepreneurs, and that's one of our curses where we try and take on everything. I get feedback from my other half about stuff like that as well. So yes.
And there's been plenty of examples of it down the years, but I think probably the last 6 months we've finally learned that lesson.
We have learned that lesson, yes. So in our management business, we did start off with a property manager, and
so that's a good start.
That's a good start, yes. But it did take us a lot longer than we should have to build a team around a property manager, so that like the guest comm side of things, the bookkeeping side, it wasn't as well built out then. So the good thing is we learned and we pivoted, and we then managed to then build a team around that. And it's good about learning from your own lessons and then making sure that you implement all the lessons to change your way moving forward. Or improve.
And at a similar kind of time, it was the same with the podcast, wasn't it?
Yes.
Originally, as you've probably seen, it was me and Richie, and as time's gone on, we've actually built a whole team around that of people who are involved and really help out and bring huge amounts of value on there.
Tremendous amount of value, yes. We've got a very powerful team around the podcast, so really, really proud of that,
And we're not just saying that because we know that they're watching. They genuinely do add a lot of value. And there's Chris behind the camera giving us a little
thumbs up, with an exclamation mark.
But no, it genuinely is, and there's a massive correlation between how the podcast has grown and really excelled and done really well, and in terms of when we brought the team on.
Yes,
because it's a kind of fundamental really lesson for us. And something we started implementing around focusing on what our core strengths are. Right?
Oh yes, Firstly, weaknesses. Focus on our weaknesses. SWOT analysis, you want to call it. But you got to focus on your strengths, your weaknesses, and see what you're really good at, what you enjoy, what you're passionate about, and then you bring in other people who've got the same level of passion on different elements of the business, and different expertise in the business. So we could still be doing everything ourselves, but then we will be good at one thing, good at the other, excellent at a couple of things, and then average or below average on a lot of things. So it's always good to bring in the people, a team in place, people with different expertise, different qualities, different passions, and they have fit in and have a purpose to your business.
Yeah, and there's more elements to it as well, isn't it? There's like time leverage. We've only got so many hours in the day.
Yes, we do,
So you can't do absolutely everything. So actually, to bring in someone who's not only better at you at a certain thing, but also got a lot more passion for it, and like you say, then it just means it's going to get done. It's going to get done better and free up your time.
Sorry, but that one was a difficult one for you, as in finding someone who's better than you at something, Chris. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. I have an ego, but I hide it quite well.
Yeah.
But particularly when, like with bookkeeping, I didn't want to be doing that.
No.
But I built an entire system around it, and so bringing in someone to actually come in and take that over was quite tricky. But now that we've got that whole bookkeeping team, which works not just for us but for clients as well, then actually that's completely hands off now, isn't it? And
yes.
It's a chartered accountant, so let's be honest, they're much better at accounts.
Chartered accountants overseeing the bookkeepers.
Exactly.
So yes,
they're a lot better than accounting than I ever was, but it's about taking that leap, and now that frees up our time to be focusing on stuff which we are really high value at.
Like you say, taking that leap and letting go. Having trust and faith in someone in order to let go, because that was a difficult one for you, because you had built the bookkeeping system and you were overseeing it. I remember when I recruited the first bookkeeper and they were going through their trial phase, the first 2-3 weeks you were frustrated because you were like, no, I'll do it. No, you got to let go, let them do it. And then we got feedback from our other business partner who's like, actually, they're not bad at all. They're doing a great job. It's just that you've been doing it for so long, so you do it with your eyes shut. But then they have to get used to the system, So it's having that, being able to let go as an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Exactly, and I think you need to get out of that mindset of, I can do it better, because like you said, it takes a while for people to adapt and understand it, and at the end of the day, even if they do 80% as good a job as you, if you can implement that with every area of your business, you're still going to be way further ahead.
Yes,
Because for me, the most important element of this is what you mentioned earlier. It's about freeing up your time to work on the stuff that you're most high value on.
That's it.
You know?
Yeah.
So, for instance, bringing a whole team around the podcast, and for instance, Chris, working on the marketing side of stuff, means that we can actually focus on the content.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why we're now able to be delivering regular content on the podcast.
Videos as well.
Because we're not having to focus on, okay, this coming out then, that coming out then, etc., etc.
Yes, yeah. And the other thing that comes with empowerment and being able to give people, to pass out the work to other people who specialize and are good at that, is value in your team, because by empowering someone, it means you value them, and you have to value your team members, as in your business partners, your colleagues. You have to value them as individuals.
Yeah, and I've seen some studies of people working which show that actually the most important thing in terms of happiness in a job role is not actually about money at all, or even about the people that you're working with and how well you get on with them, but actually it's about how valued you are.
Yeah.
Because everyone fundamentally wants to feel valued and feel appreciated, and it's just such an important thing.
Yes,
for your overall happiness as well as doing well in work.
You laugh at me for my cliches, but yeah, if you want to go fast, go alone, and if you want to go far, as we want to, we're in it for the long term. Yeah, go together, go with the team, build a team around you, and work together with others.
Yeah, and it might be a cliche, but you're right. It does make a lot of sense, because it is faster to do stuff on your own, and that's again, if we're coming back to me in the bookkeeping, that was a mistake. It's like, well, actually it's going to take 2 weeks to train someone up to do it, or I can just take 3 days and get it all done myself. Yeah, but it's an investment of time, isn't it? If you invest in bringing the people around you, showing them how you're doing stuff and let them take that to another level, then in the long run you'll go so much further.
Yes.
So I think it's been a really good thing that what was originally going to be an episode on our biggest mistakes has actually turned into our biggest learnings. Right?
Yes, yeah. Thanks to the Saints manager, Southampton.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. I think it's one of the most key things in business is to create that feedback loop, of improvement. Markets are always changing. Your clients are always adapting.
Constantly, yeah.
And unless you're listening and adapting to that feedback, then ultimately your business is going to become irrelevant, and in the long run it's going to go out of business. So creating that feedback loop in that business where you're listening to feedback, you're constantly adapting, constantly improving, is what allows you to grow as a business. And
yes, yeah.
I think it's very much actually at the kind of cutting edge of modern businesses and what they work on, lean methodology, and very much the new technology companies embrace this whole system massively, to the point where Google would pretty much attribute their growth over 20 years from non-existent to a $1 trillion company, down to their kind of fail fast philosophy.
Yes.
And on the surface you think, well, why as a business do you want to fail? But once you start calling it failing and start calling up learnings, well, if you want to learn something, do you want to learn it quickly, where you can quickly adapt to the market and launch a product which does work, or do you want to find out a couple of years down the line?
Yes, yeah. You want to invest the quick time and the effort, the time and energy into it, learn from your mistakes quickly, and then if it works, you can increase that. But if it doesn't work, you can pivot straight away, quickly, and then do something else, as opposed to investing years and years and years on that same product. So the truth of the matter is that, we see them as mistakes. Other people see them as mistakes. We used to see them as mistakes, but then they are learnings, because you're not going to improve your business. You're not going to grow as a business. You're not going to grow as a person if you don't go through these lessons and these learnings. So no, mistakes don't exist anymore. It's just learnings. Hope we've convinced you that there are no such things as mistakes. It's just learnings. If you'd like to share any of your learnings, please feel free to jump on our Facebook group,
which is the Service Accommodation Podcast.